Okay, so today I want to introduce you to two sisters. You can giggle at my pencil sketches here. But we have these two sisters that are very different. We have the sister Evie, and feel free to make this chart in your own notebook so that you can have it to refer to. We have the first sister who is Evie. Notice how Evie is holding a piece of paper that has writing on it, like some text, and she has a pencil. Evie loves to read, and she is extremely bossy. She's an authority on everything. She likes to quote statistics, and she likes to give information that she reads. Okay? She is a know-it-all. She knows everything. She reads everything. She remembers everything. She can quote everything. She's a know-it-all. And she always has evidence to back up what she says. She always has evidence to prove that what she is saying is correct. In contrast, we have Ella. Now, Ella is very different from Evie. Ella likes to talk a lot. She always likes to add new ideas to what she reads. So she's not just reading and finding evidence and learning about statistics, but she's adding her own thinking to it. Nicholas, please write this chart in your notebook. Thank you. So I want you to kind of think about what a conversation might look like between these two sisters. Evie, who is going to always provide text evidence of what she's reading to support what she's saying, and Ella, who is going to always add her own ideas to what her sister is saying. I'm going to actually toggle to my screen for a second to share something with you that I wrote. And this is what a conversation between Evie and Ella might look like. Okay, I'll switch it back to this in a minute. Okay, let me just make this larger so that you can see it. Okay, I want you to imagine a scene in which both of the sisters are sitting in their living room. It says on the screen, sisters Evie and Ella are sitting in their living room. Evie is reading an article entitled, "Are These Chips Too Delicious?" And Ella is practicing yoga on a mat in the middle of the room. And so Evie says, this article says that scientists who work on formulas for flavoring food are not allowed to talk about their experiments to anyone. The author states that they work in top secret laboratories. And then Ella says, companies don't want others to copy their formulas. Another company could steal their work and use it themselves. And then the room gets quiet, and Evie continues to read. And as she gets more information, she says, that's important because later the article states a successful flavor can earn millions for the company that creates it. And then Ella's like, food flavoring is a multi-million-dollar industry. Okay, so I want you to notice what is happening in this scene between the two sisters. Let me give you that chart back. Okay, so the conversation between the two sisters, what do we have? What do we have? Turn and talk with your partner about what you're noticing about the conversation between these two sisters. Okay, I'm going to kind of stop you for a second because I just heard a great conversation between Grady and Carson. Grady, could you repeat what you were saying?
So Evie is like putting down the information and Ella is elaborating.
Okay, so did you hear what he said? He said Evie is kind of the person who is quoting the information or giving us the information, and Ella is elaborating on it. Remember, she's saying more. Okay, and did you see how the conversation went back and forth between the two of them? All right, so think about this. When you are writing your body paragraph in your essay, you want the conversation to be similar to that. You want to present evidence, and then you want to say more on it. And we talked about this yesterday in a lot of conferences. When do you elaborate? Well, you want it to be more like a conversation between these two sisters. Evidence and elaboration. Okay, evidence and elaboration. Okay, so let's try one. I want you're just going to have a conversation. Choose which person is going to be Ella in your group. And I'm going to give you what Evie is going to say. Okay. So Evie's going to continue the conversation, and she's going to say, that is similar to what the author says. I'm going to stop because I can hear some talking going on. Listen carefully. That is similar to what the author says in this article of Bloody History. It says that during the 1400s, Europeans had no idea where the spices they bought were located. Traders refused to reveal where they got their seasonings. Okay, so whoever is the Ella in your group, in your partnership, go ahead and respond. Okay, so let me bring you back quickly. I know that was really fast. Oliver, were you the Ella in your group? What did you say?
I said that the traders wouldn't. This shows that the traders wouldn't want to give away where the goods were because they didn't want people to steal their crops and seasonings.
Okay, so they wanted to keep the location a secret because they didn't want somebody else to steal their crops. I'm not sure if they actually grew the crops. I think they went to an island and they bought them or traded for them someplace where it grew. Okay, but I get what you're saying, and you definitely are doing what we want Ella to do. Ella is saying more, and she's not repeating what was already said in the text evidence. All right, Adrian, were you the Ella in your group? Federico was? Okay, Adrian, why don't you really quickly tell me how you would respond if you were the Ella?
That this shows that in the 1400s, the Europeans would want to keep it a secret, so then they oh, no. The traders refused. The traders didn't let the other people know. So then
Why? Why wouldn't the traders want other people to know where they got those seasonings? Turn and talk real quick. Well, but that's what was said right in the article. Can you say it so that it's saying more to explain it?
So
You
they
Chen?
can control the economy.
Well, they do control the economy, and that is a different way to say it. How else could we
So
say?
they could like get more money because if everybody knew about it, then the people who traded it to other people, they wouldn't get any more money.
Okay, think about it this way too. If there were only 5 traders who knew where to get those peppercorns and that nutmeg that was so valuable back then, and you were somebody that wanted to buy them, you would only go to those 5 people, right? So those 5 people, like you said, and like you Chin said, everybody would have to go to them, right? Nobody else, they wouldn't go to anybody else. They would get all the business, okay? But if 20 traders knew where to get that and 20 of them had it, right? Now they would have to share all of the customers, right? So Ella would explain that to Evie. Ella would explain what that meant to Evie. Okay, so do you get the idea here? What we're talking about is a conversation between our 2 sisters, Evie and Ella. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is when you go back to your seat, I am going to ask you to take out your text set on technology use, and with the same partner that you were working with on the floor, I would like you to role play. One of you is going to be Evie. I want you to pick out a quote that you would use in your essay to prove one of your main ideas. I want the other one to be Ella, and then switch roles and practice it again, okay? We're going to practice it probably 2 times is about all we'll have time for. Okay, does anybody have any questions? If you're in a group of 3, because I do have one group of 3, you're going to have to do it 3 times so that each person gets a chance to be Ella. Okay, go ahead back to your seats and begin working.